crack, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Kazzy here, and in this video I'm going to be sharing with you my reading resolutions for 2018. I know we all make resolutions at the start of the year to, get fit, be more healthy, to do this, to do that, to do the other, but this year I've got more of reading resolutions because every single year I do the same thing, like, I want to get healthy, I want to get fit, so like, they're a given. These are the resolutions that I have for my reading. One of my reading goals in 2018 is to read more classics. Yes, I know like pretty much everybody on BookTube has this resolution at some point or another when they're doing these videos, but I genuinely want to read more classics because I haven't read an awful lot of classics. I say this anytime that I have a classic book featured in one of my videos. I haven't read a lot of classics. Even the classics that I have read were for university, and so I pretty much just hated them by default. I don't want to do that. I don't want to hate classics. I want to like them. I want to understand why they're classics. I want to understand why people love them so much, and so I want to read more. I think I read a couple, maybe like 3 or 4 last year. I don't want to say I want to read one every month. I don't want to say I want to read 12 of them in a year, but I want to maybe read maybe 6, or maybe do one every kind of quarter, that work it that way. I don't know, but I know that I want to read more of them. Another of my resolutions is to finish Harry Potter. I bought the Harry Potter books last January in hopes to just read them all and be done with it and just say I have read them. So I started reading them in January, February, March. That's what I exclusively pretty much read in those months. But after Order of the Phoenix, I needed a break. Harry just annoys the living daylights out of me, and so I stopped after Order of the Phoenix, thinking I would take a break for a month and then resume. I haven't looked back since. I figured I only have 2 of them left. I only have Half-Blood Prince and Deathly Hallows left. I can do that. I can do 2 books, she says, saying that she hasn't finished Dance with Dragons by George R.R. Martin. Sorry. I'm sending it to the books because it's behind these ones. I'm going to bite the bullet this year and finish Harry Potter. I might throw it across the room several times if Harry's being a complete and utter douche biscuit, but I will finish it. In 2018, I would also love to read a play. I used to read plays like nothing else when I was younger. I always would go to Eason's and Waterstones and just stay in the drama section where all of the plays were. I want to read more of those this year. I love plays. I love reading them. I love kind of imagining a set for them. I love imagining how I would direct them. Pretty much my entire GCSE and theatre studies at A-level career was spent, saying how would you direct these. So I'd love to read another play or 2 in 2018. Mostly I want to reread Hedda Gabler by Henrik Ibsen because that's one of my favorite plays. I want to read Born with Teeth again. Yep. Again, I have already read it twice, listened to an audiobook of it, and so why not read it again? It's good! It's a good book! And it's non-fiction, so that counts for the read more non-fiction aspect of reading, right? In that same vein, I want to read The Princess Diarist again. I want that to be my final read of 2018. It's become kind of a habit to do that, and so I want to make it a tradition that every year it's going to be the final book that I read. One of my mom's favourite authors is Danielle Steele, and so she reads her books a lot. She's even started rereading the books that she already has, and she has a crap ton of them. If you can hear anything barking, that is my dog Millie. Undoubtedly, Toby has done something to annoy her. With that, I want to read the books that are now coming into the house. Like every time I see a new Danielle Steele book at work, I pick it up instantly for her. I want to read that one as well, I want to read alongside her, or read after her. Whenever she's finished with it, I'll read it. Just like that. I want to read more Danielle Steele because I actually started really reading Danielle Steele when I was maybe about 14 or 15. Not the age group that she's writing for, but at the same time, I enjoyed what she was writing. I enjoyed the stories that she had. Some of them really surprised me, but I want to read more Danielle Steele. It's probably like a very strange resolution to have, but I want to read more Danielle Steele. If you don't already know, I have a couple of books in Spanish and I want to read them. I have Caraval and Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children in Spanish, and I want to read those. I want to read them, finish them, and learn something from them. I can read in Spanish and I want to learn ways to sound more fluent in Spanish when I'm speaking, because my brain, when I'm speaking, it just doesn't quite have the speed that it has from when I'm reading it, and I want to become more fluent in Spanish. I want to learn more Spanish and to relearn all of the Spanish that I've forgotten from GCSE and A-level. But I will finish those books this year. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. I want to read more books by Irish authors. I don't really have an awful lot of Irish authors on my bookshelves. Not because I don't want to, but because they aren't the most marketed authors, if that makes any sense. I don't really encounter a lot of their books. The only authors that I really know of are Colm Tóibín and David Park, mostly because David Park is my former English high school English teacher. I can't even remember if I said that phrase right. And the only reason I know of David Park is because he is my former English high school teacher. And Neil Jordan, who I have Carnivalesque by. But the thing with some of the Irish authors that I've encountered is their writing is rather dense. Beautifully decorated writing, but at the same time it has the quintessential Irish thing where they use 100 words when they only need 2. I feel like that's what they're doing half the time, but that kind of puts me off reading Irish authors at times. It's not quite a reading resolution, but I want to be more consistent with my blog. My blog this year was a beyond hit and miss. I was so lazy with it, and that's the only way I can describe it. I was beyond lazy. I wasn't particularly motivated to post on it. There were times when I was posting, and then of course then there were times when I wasn't. The thing that I really liked most about my blog this year was that I was posting reviews. I've noticed on my channel that review videos don't get a lot of views. They really don't. My channel doesn't get a lot of views anyway. I think a video is successful if it gets over 10 views. Review videos don't get those. Not for me anyway. I like to reserve reviews more from my blog if there's a book that I want to be more specific on my feelings for, like I did with Geekerella, like I did with Vicious, like I did with Daughter of the Pirate King. I want to leave, more specific reviews to the blog. I want to do that more consistently on my blog, because if I want to talk about the audiobook for The Princess Diarist, I can do that. If I want to go into more detail on Stalking Jack the Ripper, I can do that. And I can be more succinct, because let's face it, I'm not the most articulate person in the world when it comes to this. I'm getting a little bit tongue-tied and my brain just goes blank. I want to get better as well talking about books, and that's probably like another resolution as well. I want to be more articulate about what I feel about a book, about what I liked about a book, instead of like saying the same thing about 5 times and thinking that that's enough. Probably encountered that in my last wrap up for December, and you're probably going to encounter that more for my, disappointing reads, surprising reads, favorite book covers, that kind of thing. So yeah, I apologize for that, and hopefully in 2018 I will get better at that. And that's now Toby barking. And finally we get to the Goodreads goal for 2018. My Goodreads goal for 2017 was just 50. I know that probably sounds like a lot, okay, because that's pretty much a book a week. I set that goal in April. I really started reading in April. In March I discovered BookTube, or more specifically I discovered Haley in Bookland, marathoned her videos for about a week, and discovered more books that I liked the sound of, and so I bought more and more books. I'd been hearing about Goodreads. I had no idea what Goodreads was. In April I made a Goodreads account, nosed around. I was like thinking, no, I'm not going to set a Goodreads goal. That lasted for all of about 2 hours, to be perfectly honest. And then I set one. I think I originally set it at 30, but then when I counted the books that I had read up until that point, I decided, right, maybe 30 was a bit too low. So then I think I upped it to 40, and then finally left it at 50. I was like thinking, right, if I can do that, perfect. I reached that in October. This year, I have a conservative ballpark goalpost of 90. Why not 100, you might be asking? I think that's more like, I don't want to put like a ridiculous amount of pressure to achieve 100. If I achieve 100, fun-dabby-dozy, I will be ridiculously happy with 100 books in a year. I was amazed that I managed to do 71, to be honest, because I didn't even read 71 in 3 years of university. So I am just saying that yes, I would love to read 100 books, but at the same time I'm being conservative and being realistic and just setting it at 90. I think I can do 90. So there you have it, guys. Those are all of my reading resolutions for 2018. Some of them are a bit like, what? I might be ridiculous, but those are my resolutions and I'm going to stick to them. So let me know what your reading resolutions are for 2018. If you have any, I would love to know them. Subscribe if you're new and follow me on this journey through 2018. I would love to have you along, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!